Hey besties, welcome back to the Business Besties Club Podcast, your go-to space for real, unfiltered conversations about business, marketing and entrepreneurship. I'm Katie, your host, and can you believe it's the final episode of 2025? What a year it has been, filled with incredible guests, honest conversations and so many moments of inspiration from brilliant business owners who have built, pivoted and persevered through it all. I wanted to end the year with something really special, a conversation that captures what the Business Besties Club is all about. Passion, resilience, creativity and growth. And my guest today, Kelly Riddington, embodies every single one of those things. Kelly is the absolute powerhouse behind Heaven Scent, her incredible beauty and skin business that she launched at just 20 years old, and Nero Bianco, the luxury home fragrance brand that grew from a lockdown side hustle to a thriving shop and workshop space in Lichfield. Her story is one of grit, determination and pure entrepreneurial spirit. From sleeping in her salon during renovations to rebuilding after lockdowns to creating a brand that's truly become a destination in its own right. So, grab your favourite drink, light your favourite candle, maybe it's a Nero Bianco one if you're lucky, and settle in for an honest chat with the incredible Kelly Riddington. Kelly, I'm so excited to have you here on the Business Besties Club. There is honestly so much that I want to ask you. So welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks
Thank you for being here. No, it's absolutely brilliant to see you. Okay, so should we get straight into it?
Yeah, straight in. Let's go.
Do it.
Let's
okay.
go.
So you started Heaven Scent when you were just 20.
Yeah, 20 years old.
20 years old. So take us back to that moment. What made you decide to start your own beauty business at such a young age?
So I've always just loved doing my own thing, basically. So I went to school, went to into sixth form and hated it. I was very academic, loved school, loved my favourite subjects at school were maths and DT, really random, but woodwork, literally got A star, loved it, took my coursework home, all the rest of it, loved that, went into sixth form, but then I just thought, this isn't for me, I don't want to go to uni. I could have, would have been fine, but I didn't want to go. So I literally walked out one day, the school phoned my mum saying, Kel's not here, what's going on? She's like, yeah, she's not coming back, that's it.
Wow.
So I started working at Good Hope Hospital where my mum worked as an admin, and I was like, you know what? I want something that I can bring all over the world. If I want to travel, I want to do my own thing. And I basically just signed up for beauty in the August and it started in the September. I was never really a girly girl anyway. So I think people beauty, what you do, that's not for you. Yeah. But anyway, so did that, obviously loved it. And then worked at Good Hope, obviously, whilst I was training as a therapist.
Okay.
And then left and then I got a job and went to this job for one day and I was like, absolutely not. I don't want to just work in a salon. I don't want to be in this environment. I want to do this myself. So literally got home that night, ordered everything I needed to be a mobile therapist. And then, just went mobile basically. So because I was working at Good Hope, obviously there was loads of admin staff, loads of women that we worked with. They were, my original...
client base?
Yeah, clients basically. And there used to be this internal chat thing with the NHS. So I put my business on there. So it was Solihull, Heartlands and Good Hope. Promoting myself on there and then I'd be doing mobile over Harborne and all over the place. So started that basically and then never looked back. That was the start.
That's amazing. So from literally going down a really academic route to realising that's not what you want to do anymore.
Absolutely.
And then thinking, what do I want to do? What's transferable that I can take around the world with me?
And that's it.
And coming up with Heaven Scent.
And I think the fact that it's obviously creativity, I love being creative, obviously, as that's led me into Nero. But I've always made things, always been really good with my hands. I've always had a pair of scissors in my hands when I was little. So I think having been a beauty therapist obviously is creative essentially. I can create my own treatments and give that. And then obviously having my own business, I've got full control of how that looks and how I portray that. And, being mobile was difficult because I'd go to houses and I'd have my candles, I'd have my music because I wanted to set the whole scene. And it was that whole experience that I've always loved doing. But you'd walk in and be like, oh, we're just in the playroom today for the full body massage. And I'm like, what? How am I on there massaging thinking this is not the environment that I want to be doing this in? So I did that for 6 months and then I started renting a treatment room and a hairdresser's.
Wow, that's amazing. And I suppose in the creativity, like you say, you've brought into it, you want the people that you're treating to have that experience and to really just kind of switch off and enjoy that treatment, and you could determine what that looked like being your own boss.
That's it.
Really a scary thing though for you to go and start a company, for one day and realise, no, this is not for me, I want to do my own thing. That's quite headstrong.
I mean, That's definitely me. If I've got an idea in my head, it needs to happen now. It needs to happen like yesterday, and it's never changed. But I think I've always said, like, I'd rather try something and say, well, at least I tried, than what if. The what if would always kill me.
Yeah.
So that's why I always make these ridiculous decisions to open these businesses and do things and just like throw myself into it.
Because what's the worst can happen?
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah.
And obviously at that point I was living at home, you know, I had no bills, I had no kids, no, you know, nothing, no responsibilities. So actually starting a business when you're younger is almost easier because you have got less risk in it anyway.
Perfect time for you to give it a go.
Absolutely.
So the transition then from being a mobile therapist and going into a rented space, what did that look like, and how did you discover where you went first?
So that was based in an advert in the Observer, good old Observer in Warmley. It was in a hairdresser's and a treatment room. So it was okay. Obviously, it was a start. I built a clientele there. I was there for, I think, 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
But obviously, you've got beauty therapists and hair always come together, but they're actually very different industries. Hairdressers, obviously more chatty, it's more, you know, it's loud. Obviously, you've got the hair dryers and everything else going, and there's me trying to do like your tranquil music, a spa treatment and all of that. So it was difficult managing that side of it, but I was still working at Good Hope at this point. So I was working, you know, evenings, weekends, whatever I could basically do. I'd work 9 to 5 and then I'd work of an evening there, or vice versa. So, you know, it got me started. Obviously, I learned a lot of lessons. I knew where my business wanted to go. Obviously, built clients, and I've still got clients now the salon's got clients now still from that time. So that's like, 15 years ago?
That's amazing that have followed you to wherever you've gone to next.
And then naturally, obviously, as I've kind of come out of Heaven Sent as a therapist, my staff are there and they go to the girls that are there now as well. So... yeah, it was challenging, but it's obviously a lesson, and it all adds to
exactly
the
beginning of your journey. And obviously, again, you know, with the mobile going out and not being able to have the right environment, that was a similar sort of thing, I suppose. Having your own space, brilliant, but not quite in the right setting.
Not fully mine, essentially.
Yeah, I totally get that. Okay, so was there a moment when that had all kind of kicked off and you were doing it? I know you were working 2 jobs at the time, but when you were actually doing those treatments and you'd set up that business, that you thought, okay, this is actually working, I could take this kind of further?
Yeah, I can't remember the time that I actually stepped away from the hospital and went full time as like a therapist, but I then moved after like 2 or 3 years in the salon. I moved into my own salon, a little one in Sutton by Good Hope. The rent on the whole salon was actually cheaper than the room that I was paying anyway. So I was like, this is absolutely no brainer. What have I got to lose at this point? 2 tiny treatment rooms and a reception, that was it. But renovated that, and I think at that point I must have stepped away from the hospital. And then obviously went full time there, and then I took on my first apprentice. So obviously first time employing staff, which obviously is the start of just
a whole new world.
Yeah, a whole new world. As every business owner knows, is the hardest, most there's so much that goes into that. And then just grew from there, and then and then we very, very, very quickly outgrew that salon.
Did you?
I was there for 3 years, and then that's when I moved into my Boldmere salon.
Oh my goodness. And so then I guess that was the moment you were thinking, right, this is it now, this is going to be my full-time, I'm going to really make this a huge success.
Yeah, I mean, when I've got something in my head, I know it's going to work, and I will work at it like 110% constantly. And I loved it. Like, my business is my passion, but it is also my like hobby as well, really. And at that point it was like, I love, you know, it's designing the treatment menus and designing, obviously those days everything was printed, it wasn't all on Instagram. I don't think Instagram would have thing. No, I don't, probably not. You know, everything was so I'd sit there on my laptop designing and printing them and everything else. And
so
I loved doing that.
Juices could really be flowing with all
of that kind of thing, you know. So I really enjoyed everything, all of it.
That is amazing. Okay, so what was your vision back then? Did you have a vision to think, okay, I'm gonna, you know, open more shops. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have this big empire. Or were you just content with what you'd got at the time?
I'm never content. That's my biggest problem. I am. Obviously, I'm happy and I'm proud, and you know, everything I've got, I'm grateful for. But I'm always like, okay, great, ticked. What's next? Basically, like my partner's always like, Cal, come on, like what now? But. So I always knew I obviously wanted to grow. Originally, my vision was to have a spa. I thought having a great spa. I thought, you know, a nice, I don't know, manor house or country house or something like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's massive. That's mega bucks. I don't know who I thought I was and where I thought I was getting this money from, because I certainly didn't have that in a treatment room.
You've got to have goals.
But that's it. But essentially, that's what led me to opening Lichfield as well. Because it's like, if I am ever going to grow this to something similar to that, one salon isn't going to bring in enough revenue basically for that, so I need more, I need something else. And I was actually sitting in a spa at that day basically, and I was like, oh, you know, I'll have a quick look on like Burley Brown, see what's available, and you know, all the letting agents and stuff. And before I know it, I'm seeing Litchfield salon, and I was like, oh, let's go and have a quick look. So I went to have a look the next week. Wasn't ready. Wasn't like, that was not like, this is the now kind of thing. Saw it. Absolute dive. It was disgusting. If you go on our Instagram, you'll see like the renovation.
Oh my
and I regularly look back and I literally laugh. I'm like,
it was that bad.
And literally 2 weeks before we opened, there's like nothing on the walls. There's bare brick, and I'm like, am I okay?
Yeah.
Like, what was I thinking? Yeah, like, but I was like, no, we're going to get it done. I mean, there was times where I actually slept in the salon. I'd go to work in Boldmere, go to the Litchfield and like renovate, sleep, and then go back to work like the next day just to get it done. Because obviously deadlines are my thing. Give myself a deadline, I'm going to work to it.
You're not going to miss it, no way.
Absolutely. But so that's kind of, then obviously that grew to that, but then I realised that actually having a big spa is not my vision anymore. Like, there's obviously lessons that you learn, and there's a lot that goes into that, and it obviously became not my passion, but very happy with what I had with my salons.
You were quite content then with opening
to grow those.
Okay, so you've grown Heaven Sent through obviously so many stages that we've talked about. Obviously Sutton Coldfield to Boldmere and then to Litchfield, and each move was quite a big step up, I guess.
Absolutely.
What drives you then to keep pushing for more all the time?
I just don't know. I love not sleeping. I love not sleeping. I love the stress. I actually work better under stress. Okay. Like, give me all the time in the world, I'll get nothing done. Hence this morning, rushing, been late. But give me a short amount of time, I'll get it all done. I might be a little bit late, but I will get it all done. I don't know, I'm just really passionate about what I do. Like I said, work is something I love doing. I love working, I love learning, I love knowing everything about everything that I do. I love doing everything to the best of my ability. I just love all of that. And, you know, there's so many things in life that you just think you could do this better, or things can be better. Yeah. And I just think, well, actually, I want to be the best that I possibly can.
So it's that striving to achieve something
absolutely,
great. It's a sense of achievement, I suppose, is what you thrive off.
It's job satisfaction. Everything I do is job satisfaction. And, you know, going back to Heaven Sent in the early days, even those little touches, it's knowing that those little bits of satisfaction that you get and clients pick up on that. Yeah. Like I always say to the girls at the salon, like, look who's in the detail. The flannels need to be rolled in a certain way because that looks better than having them just all like, you know, all over the place kind of thing. And it's those little things that people might not pick up on, but it's all of those details that make it something special. Absolutely. And it is that, and that gives me satisfaction being able to provide that in both of my businesses.
And the thing is, when you've got that passion and drive and it's your own business, they're all your own businesses, you want those finer details to be completely spot on, don't you? And you want anyone that's coming to work for you to get and understand why that's so important. Yeah. Because you're right, every single detail does add to that person's experience. They might not realise it at the time. They're going to notice these small things. But
they'd notice if it wasn't there. Yeah. And that's the thing, if the flannels were a mess or, you know, the you know what I mean, like the outside bit of the flannel needs to be like inside, not showing kind of thing. It's so particular. But those sort of things, it can look messy. You would notice if it was a mess, and I'd rather people not notice it looking great than noticing that it's bad, if that makes sense.
And if you want it a certain way and it's your business, why wouldn't you do that? Yeah. Why wouldn't you make it better? Like you say, there's lots of things that you realise, think actually, if you just put a bit more effort in, it'd be so much better.
Yeah, so it's just elevating everything all the time, you know. Yeah. I think not settling almost is a good thing, because I don't just go, oh yeah, well, I've achieved that, great. No, you need to keep evolving, you need to keep getting better, and there's always more that you can achieve by learning from everything that you've already done, like previously.
Amazing. What has been the most rewarding part of running the salons over the years then, would you say?
I don't know, I suppose just seeing what I've achieved, and, you know, seeing the businesses that I've got, the salons that I've got, the staff and the satisfaction, obviously the reviews that come through that are great, and seeing me go from me to, at one point I think I had a team of 15, I've got like 7 now. But, you know, seeing that grow, and you know, you do have to kind of realise sometimes it's too big, you need to concise and move with that.
Because again, all the work that comes with having a team like that, and the, you know, all the admin.
It's a lot, and obviously cost-wise, as businesses know, this year especially, like it is difficult. You know, I've closed Boldmere this year, so it is difficult. But I suppose the biggest satisfaction is just looking back and going, well, look what I've achieved. Like from my boot of my car to this now kind of thing.
To an idea that wasn't really anything that you kind of dreamed of when you were a child or anything like that. You know, it came to you very late, didn't it? Yeah. To having that moment thinking, okay, I'm going to go and do beauty. That's something I can kind of get, you know, stick my teeth into and really take with me, to now having, you know, owning your own salons, bringing it
for 15 years, basically.
It's absolutely incredible. Okay, so if we move on a little bit and talk about 2020, you just opened your second salon in Litchfield when lockdown hit. The timing obviously couldn't have been worse,
absolutely,
I guess. How did that feel?
So that was awful. So yeah, I'd opened Lichfield in 2019, 1st of December, and then obviously lockdown was like, I think it was 23rd of March.
Yeah, it was.
I remember the day, and I remember writing like the post to put on Instagram and the letters to put on the door, you know, saying, you know, we've closed. And I was beside myself. Obviously at first it was, you know, 2 weeks. We all knew it wasn't going to be 2 weeks. And because I've just invested a ton of money in this, you know, salon, took on new staff, and it hasn't even got its legs yet. So I'm like, how is this going to survive when we are closed and reopen? We haven't got the team that we had, like the clientele that we had in Boldmere already for years and years.
Back on when you do reopen.
You know, people are going to go back to the salons that they know that they're going to feel like safer in and all that kind of stuff. So it was a lot. And yeah, I struggled. Like, I don't sit still anyway, as you can probably tell. Can't sit still. My relaxing is doing something, it's not sitting down. So I really couldn't cope with that. Like, it was hard. And I just knew it wasn't going to be 2 weeks and just open again. And I really thought, you know, obviously all the media and everything that was coming in, how are we ever going to have this business back? How are we ever going to go? And at this point, there was so much, you know, fear factor with everything. How are we ever going to go and touch someone's face again? And, you know, wax a leg again? Or how is this going to ever happen? And so I was like, everything I've worked for, everything I've known for all of my life as an adult, really, could be taken away from me. And how do I deal with that?
And you've got no control.
And I think that's it, because I have, you know, I do obviously like to have control in everything in my life, but it's just who I am.
That's taken away from
and
you,
that's it. And there was nothing I could do about it at all, and that was the biggest struggle.
For sure. And you said when we talked previously, that was the first time you sort of struggled mentally.
100%,
with things. Can you share what that was like for you personally?
Just at home, I was just not myself. Like, I would be having breakdowns, I would be crying. I was just thinking, you know, what am I going to do? I hated being, like, I couldn't do anything anymore. I couldn't work. No. Like, obviously, I was trying to do bits online and, you know, trying to do as much as we could. We did, like, facials in the post, kind of made up these boxes. That just something to keep, obviously, money trickling in and keeping people, you know, in with the business. But it was just a lot. It was just, I definitely felt like the anxiety that I'd never felt before through that, and just the worry, and you know, it was just a lot to kind of
process. And like you say, being someone that likes to be in control, you know, you've got so far with these businesses. You know, it's an amazing achievement to have just opened this new salon. You haven't had the opportunity to build up that client base, and then it's all kind of taken away from you. And what you're going to do, and also being in an industry that is so physical.
Absolutely,
you know, obviously it's completely physical. You're touching people all the time, and you know, to think how on earth are we going to move on from that with having this kind of these restrictions? It must have been absolutely crazy. But obviously, so many business owners will relate to that feeling of suddenly losing the control. From there, how did you start to rebuild?
So with Heaven Sent, we obviously did like things like online and we're posting out, and I was trying to keep in touch with the team. And then I started Nero Bianco. So the business that most people probably actually know me for now is obviously Nero. So again, being creative, loving doing stuff, and I was like, you know what? Let's just create a brand. I've got a salon. They may or may not reopen, but either way, they will need scenting. Let's make my own kind of thing. So, just started that. Originally, I started it under like the Heaven Sent brand.
Okay.
But then obviously I realised, actually, no, this is its own thing. This has really got legs. So then changed that to Nero Bianco, and then like trademarked that.
Oh my goodness. So obviously out of the really, really tough time came something incredibly special. So is that something you've done before? How did the idea of actually creating a scent, though? I know you say you've got a salon, and obviously you want lovely fragrances and you want lovely smells to be in the salon. But you know, how on earth do you go from having that idea and thinking, yeah, that's great, but actually I'm going to physically start making my own scents and have a signature scent and make a business from that?
I don't know. Again, it's me having an idea, thinking, right, okay, this is it, let's go. I can do it basically. So I ordered all sorts of stuff for Amazon, eBay, obviously stuff that you would never use as a business. But anyway, ordered all that in my kitchen, mixing and making. I did ruin my beautiful dining room table as well by pouring oil all over it, which couldn't get out. But anyway,
oh my God,
it's fine, that's done. But you know, so did that in my kitchen, and then obviously then I actually did perfect it and started looking into it and researching and learning and doing it properly, and got the equipment that I needed to do and did that. And then obviously because I had the salons and we had Instagram, and I remember I basically started with 5 scents, 5 wax melt scents.
Okay.
One of those scents is one of the ones I've actually brought for you today, the rhubarb and black plum.
My goodness,
it's like a little piece of my heart because it's been there since day one. So had these 5 wax melt scents, and I remember still in lockdown, me and one of my staff, Gabby, we went into the salon and we did this live video thing, because we used to do Christmas events every year in the salon.
Yes, okay.
Obviously couldn't do that, so I was like, right, let's do it live. And we, it's probably still on there, hated doing it. There was me with a glass of gin, as if we would be doing like at the actual salon, glass of gin, talking through all the Dermalogica products and whatnot, and then said, oh, I'm also launching this. So I had my 5 wax melt scents, and that was literally the start of that.
Oh my
and because we've got our clients, naturally they were like, oh, great, like let's buy into that. So we're shipping them out from there. And then that just kind of grew from 5 wax melt scents to about 30 scents, and the shop bursting at the seams at the moment with products that we've got in there.
Oh my God. So, you described previously Nero Bianco being something to really sink your teeth into. Obviously, while you couldn't perform treatments, you couldn't obviously run the salons. And it's become this beautiful, creative brand that now has its own store and a workshop, which is absolutely amazing. So can you talk us through that journey? So from making the wax melts in your kitchen to then launching your first product line. So obviously you launched live, you talked about the wax melts, but how on earth do you go from that to what you've got now?
Oh God, honestly, I'm not sure, to be honest. Just me going, another idea, I'm going to do this. Just, daily my brain's just like, shh, go. So did that, and then obviously, so had it as under the Heaven Sent brand, and I thought, no, let's make this its own brand. So thought of a name, thought of Nero Bianco, which means black, white and Italian. I love everything black and white,
you
like
said you
neutral.
Don't like
don't do colour. You won't see me in colour ever. Very rarely anyway. And I love Italy, and it sounds quite fancy. So I was like, that's a memorable name. It sounds nice, and so that's where that was born from. So it was available, so trademarked that. So it's me, and nobody can obviously take that from me. So did that, and then thought, right, okay, let's obviously expand into candles. Candles are very difficult to make, as you'll find out if you come on a workshop. We're talking about all the science and everything behind it.
Really?
So they're not just wax, wick, fragrance done, which people think it is. There's a lot behind it. So kind of research into that took longer to develop, and then obviously brought out some reed diffusers under Nero Bianco. Built the website, which I've obviously done on myself, which I love doing as well.
Did you do have you done everything yourself?
Everything is myself. Every branding, all the websites, both like for the salons, everything. The only thing I don't do is actually physically print obviously labels, because I haven't got the equipment to do that. I mean, if I did, I probably would.
You would if you could.
Yeah, but so that's the only thing I don't do, but everything else is literally me. And my photography is done by one of my really good friends, Sophie, who I actually met through Nero. I saw her amazing Instagram page on Instagram. I was like, oh, do you do photography? Could you take some photos of my Nero? So she's like, yeah, sure. Send it the post. And she was literally living 5 minutes from where I lived at the time.
My goodness.
So I was like, oh my God, you're around the corner. So dropped them. Yeah, and then we became really good friends. We go on dog walks, and she still does all my photography now. Her house is stunning. And that's kind of obviously online, seeing the products when you can't, smell them, you're not near the store, seeing that beautiful photo is what sells it, obviously.
Absolutely.
As well.
And that's so important, isn't it?
So important, yes. And obviously it's the brand, it's consistent, obviously through all of the same imagery. And then just grew from there. So basically I started making in my garage, made like a workshop there.
And so, just sorry to interrupt, but have you originally made the candles yourself? You've done all that yourself, every single aspect? No, nothing was outsourced originally?
Every single thing is made by my hands, and now my mum's hands as well. She makes most of the stuff.
So still now, you don't outsource any of that? Nothing's
outsourced. That's the whole point. We hand pour all of our products, and it always will remain the same. Like, no matter how big that business gets, I will make sure that is always when that happens. It's hand poured, home fragrance, made by us, wherever it may be made.
Incredible.
But
okay.
So if you come into the shop at any point, you'll see us making. I mean, at the moment, my mum is in there making. So any day you come in, there'll be like about 1,000 candles that she's poured. Basically everywhere, yeah. There's not enough space in there, but we make everything. So from day one, everything's made.
And so everything was in your garage originally. So you had that photographed and got that all up onto the website, and that's how you were originally selling the products via a website, or could you buy it through Instagram as well?
Instagram eventually. Obviously, being able to sell on Instagram as a whole, you got to jump through hoops to do that. But eventually on there as well. But the website, and then through Heaven Sent, obviously as the salons reopened, we had them on the shelves there. And then kind of I've had a few kind of wholesalers, a few people that I knew through Heaven Sent on networking events, through like Dermalogica days and stuff. They've kind of purchased to sell in their salons, and like florists. So I've kind of used my network. I suppose, to get out there and get the products out there more. Amazing.
So. And so how did you go then from being in the garage, having the website and just using the networks and things that you've got, to thinking, okay, we need a space now, we need a shop, and we need to take this to the next level?
So after that we moved basically into one of my salons has got a garden, so I had like a workshop built there.
Okay.
Basically a big shed. So did that. Salons were back open fully. I was working full-time as a therapist again.
Okay.
Mums as mums do. She was like, right, I'll come and help. So absolutely sweating in the summer, absolutely freezing in the winter. They're like making candles on there upstairs, waxing and spray tanning and doing whatever. So did that. And then me and my partner moved to Lichfield 3 years ago now. Obviously I've got my salon here. And then I was like, I really want a bricks and mortar store. And something actually came available in Boldmere by my Boldmere salon. Never ended up going through those problems. I was like, no, like forget it. And then the place in Lichfield actually became available. So Tom Shepherd saw that. He knew the landlord, had a conversation, wasn't right for what he wanted. Then he was like, oh, Cal, like, there's this shop. I'll speak to Alex, the landlord. So he did. Me and Alex met. Literally remember I was going up to like the Peak District that day. Met in the morning in the coffee shop. Yeah, great. Spoke about the business. He loved it. And then, basically that was that.
That's how it came
Got
to be.
the keys in June, was it? Was it the 1st of June in 2024? 2024? Yeah, last year. Like, lose track of the years.
Yeah.
Last year, 5 weeks and 5 days to renovate, and then obviously opened.
5 weeks and 5 days.
5 weeks and 5 days. Originally, I'd give myself a month, and I was like, and then I realised, because I'd kind of, I have these ideas and I think it's great and I know it will work, but then I pretend it's not happening.
Yeah.
So I just hadn't planned anything, I hadn't got in touch with a single, like, chippy or plaster or anything. And then I'd gone to Barcelona, got back, literally on the runway, and I was like, shit, I get the keys like today. They're going to be in my porch when I get back. So then I'm like going for all my contacts, like all of my trades that I know. I'm like, right, guys, can you come and help? Then I realised actually I'm asking a bit much to open in a month. Yes. So I was like, 5 weeks, 5 days will be fine.
I mean, that's not much longer.
It's not much longer, but it helped. It did help. Yeah, the little bit helped. I mean, to strip it out, like the place was disgusting. Again, I love a challenge. I love like a place that's absolutely vile.
You can completely transform.
Yeah, completely transform. Again, when I watched that on Instagram, now I'm like, this is hilarious. Like how it looks now. I'm like, this is actually
completely
hilarious.
Opposite, it is completely opposite, isn't it?
Completely different. The place hadn't been touched for about 40 years.
Oh,
40
so what was
years.
it before? I can't remember.
It was called Frameworks. It was like an old framing shop, so completely opposite. But yeah, that floor and the walls, just everything, just stripped out and started again. Yeah, well,
completely transform it.
Yeah, like my friends and like my boyfriend's like, Kel, like, how do you see? How do you walk? Why did you walk in here and think, oh, this could look like this? Like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, this, look at it.
But the thing is, no, it's an amazing thing because a lot of people can't. They can't envisage what it's going to look like. They can't go in and have that creative vision. But if you're that kind of person that can, you're there with that vision in mind, and everyone is around you thinking, "What is she talking about?"
Literally.
But you're like, "No, the end goal's going to be brilliant. I can see it."
But at least now, like with ChatGPT, like going into the workshop space, obviously I've got my vision, but I made ChatGPT make my vision, so I could physically show like this is what I want it to look like. Because trying to tell someone what's in your head, and I'm like, why can't you understand what's in my head? Like, why can't you see it? Why can't you see it? But having that now, I'm like, this is exactly how it needs to look. Okay, so at least I can show people.
And isn't AI brilliant for that sort of thing, though?
Amazing.
I mean, you're the one that's had that creative idea, and you've got everything in your brain, but just to be able to get it out and show other people,
that's it.
It's great to use tools like that to be able to
100%.
support you. So, I've got to ask, what has been the biggest challenge of juggling 2 full-time businesses? Because obviously the salons are still going, aren't they?
Yeah.
You've now got Nero Bianco, which has really taken off very quickly and evolved quickly into lots of other things.
Has.
So how on earth are you doing all of that?
It's a lot. Like, it is a lot. And some days I get up and I'm like, right, I'm going to boss this, great, do it all, blah, blah, blah. And then some days I wake up and I'm like, I just can't.
Yeah.
And I think every business owner gets that, no matter how big, small, whatever your business is. So time is the hardest thing to manage, and I can be scatty sometimes. Like, you've got 1,000 things to do.
Yeah.
And like, my tabs on my laptop just shows my brain. There is literally they're this tiny. You can't even see what they are, and that's basically how my brain is. But then I'll try and do it all rather than just doing one. But I can't just focus on one. I have to do a bit of everything. So I feel like I'm achieving more by attacking everything rather than one thing and just doing it. Whether it's actually works and it's methodical, who knows? But I'm not going to change now. So, that's it. So the biggest challenge is just managing time, and then obviously having time for yourself as well.
Yeah.
And just life. But I mean, I do manage to do it all. I work hard and play hard.
It's incredible. And so really now, is your focus more? Are you more present at Nero Bianco than the salons? So the salons kind of running themselves. Have you got managers in there that kind of do things for you? Yeah.
So I am now 100% Nero.
Yeah. Okay.
Working there. I stopped working in the salon probably like March, April this year. So I've closed my Boldmere salon 31st of October.
And what was the decision behind that?
So again, just managing it all, managing everything was hard. And in all honesty, like, it's been in my head for about a year, closing Boldmere. I've kind of stepped away from that. Obviously, I've got Nero, which I'm focusing on. Staff are a massive challenge. In our industry at the moment, it is really hard to find really good, passionate staff that do everything. So, you know, we've hired people, we've had to lose people, and blah, blah, blah. So it's just been something it was really getting me down, and I wasn't there. And although I had managers in both salons, and, you know, there were days and I would literally be just crying, having a breakdown. I was like, I'm really struggling to cope. Yeah. And then Matt said, you know, Cal, something's got to give here. You can't do it all. There is only one of you. And, you know, if you can concise, Lichfield's massive, much bigger salon than Boldmere. Your life's here. I don't leave Lichfield now. Like, no. I've literally become that person that just lives, works, that's it here, and I love it. You know, something's got to give. So I made the decision. Obviously really difficult. We've been open for 9 years, and I remember writing that Instagram post after I told the girls, and I was crying. It felt really surreal, but it is almost like a weight has been lifted, and I knew I had to just get it done before the new year, because I want to go into next year, kind of closing that door, continuing like with this, like the next year. I knew that had to happen so I would feel better, and it did. It was sad, but it felt like a weight had been lifted as well, massively.
But quite often business decisions aren't that, you know, especially when it's your business, that everything's so heartfelt, isn't it? You feel every emotion because it's your baby, especially that being, you know, your first salon, that, you know, with Heaven Sent, and it being such a big one, and being going for so long. You know, they're not easy decisions, but they are the right decisions, aren't they?
I think the hardest thing is, you know, I've always opened businesses. I've always grew. I've never closed everything. If I've moved, it's moved to get bigger. So closing that, I was like, is this like failure? But I know it's not. It's not failure, because other businesses are growing, and it just doesn't need to be there anymore. And, you know, I've got this beautiful Lichfield salon, which was never utilised fully. You know, we've got 4 treatment rooms, got 4 nails, a spray tan room, like 2 pedi stations. It's huge. It's over 3 floors. There's so much space, and I've never had like a full team there essentially that can really utilise that. Whereas now we have, and we've grown into it more. And like, I was in there yesterday having my nails done, and it's really nice. The buzz of that salon now is beautiful, and it's what I always wanted and what I envisioned for there. So yeah, we've got that more now. But so it was hard and it was difficult, but I know it's the right thing. And, you know, business is sometimes making those decisions to allow the business. We're actually going to thrive, and we will expand, and we'll do better now with having the one than having the 2. Financially as well, you know, business is hard. Finances in businesses are ridiculous this year more than ever, as, you know, with staffing costs and all of that kind of stuff that comes with it. It is really, really hard. And it's a bit that people don't see is that behind the scenes.
Yeah, and the thing is, I can imagine, because you're so hardworking, dedicated, you know, you really are, you know, you literally live and breathe everything that you do. Making that decision to close, you would feel as though, you know, especially when you've only ever opened them, like you say, you know, I can understand totally how you'd feel that was a kind of a failure, but absolutely not, because like you say, you've got to completely turn that narrative around, haven't you, and think, no, I'm doing this for the good of the rest of the businesses.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also for your health and your well-being. You know, you can't, if it was causing you that much kind of stress and worry, there's absolutely no point in you continuing, is there?
And that's it. I think that's where it got to. And I'm very good at just dealing with things and just thinking it's okay. From the outside, people probably think I'm like, not a hard person, but she's great. She just takes it all on the chin and just cracks on. And I do, but then people don't see you at home, and I think people forget you are still human, and you still have, you know, your life at home and everything else. And there will be times when I'm just like, I can't cope. And
you're the ultimate professional, because I suppose everybody else sees that, just that exterior. You're kind of constantly professional and putting on that facade almost. Obviously, they're not going to see the real you, because you're keeping that for when you're at home. But that's kind of the most important version of you, because you're going to suffer the consequences if you don't kind of make changes.
And the businesses are affected by that as well. When you know, and I think because it was making me feel that way, I'd lost my passion a little bit, and I'd lost my way with Heaven Sent, and I'd kind of pulled back. And, you know, I've said to the girls, I apologise for that. Like, I haven't been the Kelly that grows the business. It's kind of been a bit stagnant for a year. So now, having that, it's going to grow again. We're going to thrive again. Like, I'm going to renovate the salon in January, February.
Of course you are.
I love a renovation. People are like, are you sure?
What sort of deadline are you going to give yourself?
You know what? I'm going to do room by room. I'm going to do weekend by weekend.
Oh, good. Take your time.
Now, give me till January. I'm like, yes, it's going to be done in like 4 days, the whole salon. But no, because obviously it's going to still be open and working. We're not going to close. So we'll do it I will do it bit by bit. She says.
We'll keep an eye on that.
Do I believe myself? I don't know.
No.
We'll see.
So when you, obviously with Nero Bianco, you know, being such a huge success, you have got the store in Lichfield, complete with a workshop space, and it's a huge success right from the start. So what was launch day like when you opened the shop?
So launch was unreal. Like, it was crazy. We remember the day before going, who's going to come? Yeah. Do people even need a candle? Like,
did you send out invites? Did you just use social media to promote that?
Yeah, just social media. We just posted on social media. We did get like leaflets printed. I think they probably came like a week before I opened because, you know, it's just last of course, yeah. Kind of hand them out in the street. Naturally, obviously, was renovating. Everyone's like trying to pick the window. What's it going to be? Yeah. We'd put a post on the window. But yeah, so that was it really. But obviously, it did gain legs. Then we opened the door. I think it was probably 11 o'clock and 11:02. I think the place was packed out pretty much all day. There is like an Instagram. We did a like speed up video thing of the whole day, and it was just crazy. We were just like, what the hell? But now we look back, and although the shelves were full, they were half as full as they are now, and we're like, how did we sell anything? Yeah. What did people buy? Because it looked like we had no stock. Really? But in comparison to obviously how much we've obviously grown,
but again,
in that amount of time.
I know kind of running a website and online business is one thing, isn't it? But moving then into a store space as well, knowing how much stock to put on the shelves is something you haven't got any experience of, I suppose.
100%, because like now, the majority of our business it's in store, not online. Online, obviously, is busier than it's ever been naturally, but the store is where we get all our revenue from. So now we know. But yeah, so it was completely like the business started 5 years ago as Nero Bianco, but really it started last year when we opened the store, because that was its, you know, actual trajectory, like just going up and up from there.
And obviously then you learn from that, from, you know, opening and filling the shelves as to what you need to kind of do moving forward, more stock or
well, we think we do, and we think we start, and then we're like, look back and so we're sold out. I'm like, God, we need to make more of that. I thought we had enough for the weekend. No, Mum, get making. So we had our Christmas event a couple of weekends ago, and it was on a Sunday. Saturday, one of the busiest Saturdays we'd had since we'd opened the shop, crazy. And so I was there till God knows what time making stuff. Matt was setting the shop up ready, hanging stars off the window. And my mum came in the morning before the event, like I started, she's there making candles first thing in the morning, waiting for them to cool down to sell like in the afternoon.
Because you need it, obviously, just
to get things on the shelves,
What is the turnaround? So, I mean, how quickly, what's the process of making a candle?
So you've got your fragrance. We know all the percentages and all the wicks now, obviously, over years of testing. So you've got all of that. At the back of our shop, you'll see like two big massive like melters. So the wax is in there, always at the temperature that it needs to be to blend the fragrance oil into it. So we take that out, blend the fragrance oil, and then you have to let it cool slightly, then pour it into the vessels, and then obviously it needs to set. When it's colder, like now, they will set or cure a lot quicker. Yeah. In the summer, obviously, that process is a lot longer. Yeah. So you can't really make in the morning and sell in the afternoon in the summer.
No.
In the winter, you can just about get away with it. Or like someone came in the other day and was like, right, this candle's just been made. So like it had like cooled and it was fine, but I was like, it's still a little bit warm. So carry it like this. Yeah, so just don't let it fall over just in case it's not fully set in the middle. Obviously, she knew, you know, she wanted that scent, she wanted that candle. So yeah, it can be quite quick once you've got essentially the formula and the you know what goes into it. It's not that long, but it's the testing of a candle stage is the longest part. So every candle that you make, there's loads of testing that goes into it. Again, which we cover on the workshop.
Yeah, don't give away your secrets.
No, not on the secrets. You've got to come and have a workshop to learn. Yeah. So there's lots of testing that needs to go into it. So our house is always full of about 1,000 candles at any one time. So we're burning like Christmas in the summer, ready for Christmas launch, and then summer over Christmas, ready for like summer launch.
Brilliant. Oh my goodness. So we've talked about this a lot, but you've done these intense renovations.
Intense to say the least.
Some in 26 days, some in 5 weeks, and obviously you thrive under pressure. We've talked a little bit about it, but what is, you know, I was going to ask you, what is it about a deadline that motivates you? Now, I know you've said previously that the success of it, the fact that the achievement that you get at the end, but is there anything else? You know, you give yourself these very short time frames to do things, but like you say, is that because if you had longer it just wouldn't get done?
I think so, yeah. I think you need to have a deadline. Like if you say, oh, you know, 6 months, whatever, it will just go on and on and on. And I don't think you make as good decisions in a longer period of time, because when you've got to make a decision, you've got to make a decision.
You're much more decisive.
Ask me once for dinner, I don't know. I'm never making that decision. But other than that, you know, you just go, right, okay, that needs to be done. So what we're having, order it, do it now, and it's done. You've locked it in, dealt with it, kind of thing. And yeah, it's just get it done, get open, like what you're faffing around for. Because also, like, the finished product is never going to be fully the finished product anyway.
No.
There's always snags, there's always changes that you want to make. You know, you move into a space, you see how you work, how you feel, you realise actually this doesn't work this way, or I need to edit this or change this. So, you know, you need to work in it to get to that point anyway.
And it's kind of like that motto, just start, because once you
just
start,
go.
you know, you can learn along the way, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
And like you say, nothing's ever going to be 100% perfect or 100% finished. So get into those spaces, having that mindset is actually really important, because there's loads of people that I think have an idea about a business or a side hustle, or they want to do something, and they spend so much time, they almost talk themselves out of it, don't they? Because you've got so much time to do it, when actually, just, you know what, give yourself a deadline.
Just do it.
Tell yourself that in so many days I'm going to do this, and you will do
it, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, I've never had a business plan to this day with any of my businesses. Wow. Never, nothing. Like, if I went to the bank would be like, no, come back. Like, no.
What are you thinking?
Yeah. I mean, if I went to anybody with Nero, Bianco before I opened the shop, we laugh now and look back at what we were taking as a business. Yeah. Anyone would be like, what are you doing? You have no right or reason to be opening this shop. Like, are you sure? Like, this isn't enough to sustain a business. But I was like, no, it will work, and I know it will. Knew. I just knew it would, and I knew there's a niche, you know, in Lichfield, it's a perfect place. You've got a lot of...
it's a great spot.
People that come and just visit for the weekend. People want to, like a souvenir, essentially, handmade in Lichfield, they take that. Yeah. It's just great. It's just, you know, lovely. And I know if it needs to work, it will work. You will make something work if it has to work, no matter what it takes. You will make it work if you've got the dedication.
It's such an amazing mindset, because I think a lot of people, again, put a lot of time and energy into things like a business plan. And I'm not saying that's the wrong thing to do. That could be how you work best, and that's the right thing right now. But also, I suppose, you know, learning from you, and you've just gone on gut feeling for most things, and look at the success that you've had, and that you're going to continue to have, because things are only going up and up and up, aren't they?
Absolutely.
It's just an amazing kind of story to listen to. Yeah. And like you say with Lichfield, I think it is the perfect spot, because you've got those visitors that come in, and we have a lot of them, don't we? It's quite a lot of tourism.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, weekends especially.
But you've also got a really great client base that live in Lichfield that are returning customers. I mean, every member of my family, for one.
Yeah, I think most people in Lichfield now have Nero, Bianco in their homes, like, genuinely.
Absolutely. And they keep coming back for more, because the fragrances are absolutely beautiful. They want, you know, and they want to try new fragrances. They want something new. So it's just, you know, I think you've nailed it really with the audience. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. So like, our customers are great. They are so lovely. Like, when we have these events, and not even just the events, just day to day, with people coming in, and they just come in sometimes just for a chat and go, oh, it looks lovely, Cal, you know, what have you got new? And, you know, and they always wish us the best, I think, because they know we live locally, you know, we put something back into the community, essentially. They can see the passion, they can see the dedication, and they're really complimentary about everything that we do. Absolutely. Yeah. And without them, obviously, I wouldn't have a business. The same with my clients with the salon. You know, it's not all me, I can do that bit, but if clients don't come or customers don't come, you know, we haven't got a business. But it is great, and like, it is such a beautiful place to have a business, and I love it.
Yeah, and I think the fact that you've created a beautiful space in that beautiful city is what everyone loves as well.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
how lovely they just come in just to wish you well and say hi and how you doing,
bring
and
the dogs in for me, have a little stroke, and then
That's so
it's
lovely.
nice.
Okay, so you've talked about your family being a big part of the journey, your partner Matt, your mum. How has having them involved shaped the business and your mindset with things?
So I couldn't do it without either of them when it comes to, obviously, to Nero. So my mum worked with the NHS for 25 years, like I said earlier, you know, worked with her, and she stepped in to help, as mums do. And then when I had the shop at first, she was like, you know, Cal, I might not be able to help out as much, or, you know, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, it's fine. I knew she'd leave her job, and I knew she could work for me. I was like, she won't be able to stay away. Absolutely. So she, in the end, was like, you know, Mum, can you come and work for the business? So she's like, yeah, great, fine. So left her job of 25 years, and then she actually started on my birthday, like the 1st of October last year, officially, like on the payroll, essentially, of the business.
Wow.
And she loves it. You walk in, ask my mum, do you enjoy your job? She absolutely loves it.
So
but she works like a dog. She gets, like, this morning, she's like, 8 o'clock, can I run the trains on the way to work? I'm like, you don't need to get in this early, but she loves it. She loves getting up out. You know, mum's like, I'm like, still just making my coffee, can't cope. And then I'll get in, there'll be like 1,000 candles there. She's like, right, you need to box them, you need to label them, you need to do this. I'm like, okay.
Goodness,
so without her, we wouldn't have, the shelves would be empty. There'd be nothing on there, basically. Obviously, I do a lot of the business side of it, and I've still got, obviously, Heaven Sent to deal with. I still obviously make stuff, and I do the workshops, but I do a lot of, like, behind the scenes that takes the business to where it is. And then obviously Matt when we first opened, I was still pretty much full-time working as a therapist.
Okay.
Don't know why I thought that was acceptable and had a whole shop to open, basically. So every Saturday he would work and still pretty much does in the shop, even though I work there now.
That's amazing.
As well. But yeah, so he gave up all of his Saturdays to work there.
That's incredible.
All the workshops he does with me as well.
Does he?
So
okay.
yeah, every single one. So although he's got a full-time job, yeah.
But like you say, it takes a village, doesn't it?
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
build something like this. And, you know, what better people to have supporting you than the two people that are probably closest to you.
Well, that's it. And they've got the passion as well. You know, they've learnt from me. I remember before we was opening the shop, say to Matt, like, what's this scent? Or what scent's in rhubarb black plum? List 5 wax melt scents. And he'd be there going, oh, gosh. Like,
oh, my God, quizzing
literally Saturday night, like, oh, what are these scents that I need to learn? But now, but as I obviously listen, I like work with him in the shop, I listen, and I'm like, oh, like he knows it all. Like, he's great. He knows everything.
But I suppose, like you say, it's really important, again, with your approach to things and the fact that you want everything spot on, you want everyone to know their place and what they're doing and what they're talking about. I can imagine you sitting there with a checklist with Matt, right, Matt, go.
Yeah, like, tell me this and this.
Sunday night in your house, like, not relaxing.
What scent is it I'm burning today? What scent's this? What scent's that? But no, it's great. And like on the workshops, he helps, and it's nice, actually, I think, having a male presence in the shop.
Yes,
I think that has really helped with obviously men feeling comfortable to come in. Not like they shouldn't, but some people may think it's a bit girly. Was it just women, or, you know, seeing him and then his come in, and obviously men come in and families come in, and I think having that, and on the workshops as well, it's just added another dynamic element to the business that's really, really helped as well, for sure.
That's amazing. Okay, so looking back at everything that you've built, 2 incredible brands, countless challenges that you've managed to overcome, and now this exciting new phase, what do you think has been the key to your success?
I just think grit and determination. Basically, just keep going.
That is one word I can definitely associate with you now. Determined, completely.
I think I have my visions, and I've always got my ethos of my brands that I want, and you know, this is what I want my brand and my business to be, and I've never really strayed from that, no matter what. Even Heaven Sent back in when did I even start? 2011. You know, this is what it's going to be, and I've always stuck to that.
Yeah.
And no matter what, you know, there's challenges come along, and there's fads that come along in industries, and I've never strayed to those. I've always like, this is how we want to run, this is what I believe in, and I've always stood by that, and I think that's definitely helped, for sure.
Absolutely. And also really important, because I think I talk to a lot of people about trends and things that are current right now, and obviously depending on what industry you're in, it's really important to kind of keep up to date with those sorts of things, and if they are right for you, kind of go with them. But actually the most important thing is knowing what you're about, isn't it? And sticking to that. If you're so sure and so confident in what you've got is going to be a success, don't stray from that. You know, keep your vision going, because it's only the kind of consistency and consistent approach that you have to that will bring you that success.
Definitely. I think, like, it's, you know, consistency is key, but and also obviously evolving is key. You need to obviously be able to evolve with industries and with business. You know, things now are completely different to when I started Heaven Sent, like so different. But it is like not just following every trend there is there, because you're going to spend a lot of money. You're going to dilute yourself. You're not going to be as good as what you do, because you're doing 1,000 other things as well as other businesses down the road. And like, I remember when I opened Litchfield Salon, you know, big salon, we had a few salons start following all of our followers, and I was like, why? Like, I'm not coming here to take anything from you. I'm doing me and our business and what we believe in. I don't care what you're doing. I'm not going to even look at what you do. I'm not going to compete with you, because there's a place for everybody in all of these industries. Just be yourself and be who you want to be, and people will come to you, or they won't, and that's also fine. Okay. But there'll be plenty of people that do. So it's sticking. I think it's really sticking to what you believe in and having that as your core, and never kind of straying from that.
Fundamentally, like you say, that I know things evolve and businesses evolve, and especially with the industries that you're in, you've got to keep up to date with that. But however, the fundamentals of what you're about and what you can offer don't change, do they? And also the way that you present yourselves, and like you say, you're not coming into Litchfield to take away from all the other beauty salons that are there, because there is a space for everybody. But I think it's equally as important to know who's not right for you as it is to know who is right for you.
There's always something for everybody. You know, we're very different to a lot of other salons, and you know, Nero, obviously its own entity. There's nothing else like that for a long. I don't know where there's not another Nero Bianco. Let's face it.
No, there's not.
So yeah, you know, you just got your own thing, and just stick with it and go with it.
Stick with it, absolutely. And obviously that's kind of proven in the success that you're having. Okay, so what's the biggest lesson that being an entrepreneur or a business owner has taught you over the years?
You won't sleep. Lots of sleepless nights. Your brain will always be active. I don't know, it's difficult because obviously you learn a lot of lessons over the time really, but I think it is just sticking to what you know and just sticking with like your vision and knowing that you will get there and just keep at it basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just believe in yourself and you will. You will do it. Because
that's, I mean, and like you say, you've talked about it loads, but there are challenges and there's a lot that you go through that people probably don't know or have any idea of because you keep that behind the scenes.
So much that people don't see behind business, like behind business. It is crazy. People just don't see half of it or don't realise half of it at all.
So that self-belief is so important, and I guess surrounding yourself with people that you've got two really close allies in your mum and Matt, and probably extended family and friends as well, but people that believe in you and can really, you know, be there to lift you up when those times get hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so finally, as we head into a new year, I know you said that you were really aiming that 2026 is going to be a massive one for you. What is next for you and the businesses? Nero, Bianco in particular, because I know there's loads. You've got a new space. Can you talk to us a bit about that?
Yeah, so Nero, obviously we've opened the workshop space that we opened in August this year. So that's literally a minute walk from the shop. Brand new studio in the old picture house.
Yeah.
So that's set up purely for workshops. So we're going to expand those. We're already, I think we've got 8 or 9 between now and Christmas. They're fully booked. We've got just absolutely crazy. We've added dates. So they're going to continue to run.
Due to demand.
We opened them, they filled them. So right, we need to do some more. They thought, okay, we need to do some more. They thought, and now there is no more. There's one that we've just launched last week and it's I think it's about 10 spaces left, but that's it for the year. So, because that is all we can possibly do. But next year, obviously, going to just continue to promote those and do more of those. Yeah. How that's running already at the moment, I think that we are going to be inundated. We're going to expand those workshops. We're going to do wax melt workshops as well. Okay. So something a bit different, a bit more kind of less informational. It's more hands-on, more really. Creative. More creative. You can just do whatever with those. You can get like messy with them. So that's with that. And then with the business, no new shops this year.
Are you sure?
Which I promised Matt last year. And I was like, no new businesses, we'll just grow. And then obviously February, I was like, right, we've actually got this opportunity to open the workshop space. And I was like, here we go again.
Oh my goodness.
No, next year, definitely just growing the business for sure.
Yeah.
I really would love to kind of get into like your Selfridges, your John Lewis, that kind of stuff. So that's what I really want to work on.
Really?
This year I've really spent like elevating the packaging, the branding. So I think I'm happy with that now. So it's kind of time to push there. Again, like wholesale, more kind of getting into more wholesale, so the business grows across the country and people see the business more. So yeah, and then 2027, maybe we'll look for another store.
Goodness, that's so exciting.
But I never go looking; these things just come to me. So then, if something pops up, then before you know it, I'll be up in York renovating a shop.
So, but, you know, never mind England. You might be somewhere overseas next.
Absolutely, who knows?
Somewhere hot and sunny.
Nothing would surprise me.
Yeah, nothing would surprise me now I've met you and now I've had this conversation today, because it just sounds like I think you could go after. There are so many things that you could go after, and it sounds like you're just not ready to stop. You know, you're not going to stop until you kind of have taken over the world. Basically,
I will never stop. Literally, I'll be like 100 years old, like some week making my candles, renovating.
What an incredible conversation to end the year on. I absolutely love Kelly's story because it's such a reminder that growth doesn't always come from perfect plans. Sometimes it's born from challenge, creativity and a whole lot of heart. From launching her first salon at just 20 years old to surviving lockdown to building 2 thriving brands, Kelly is proof that passion and perseverance can take you anywhere. If you love this conversation, go and show Kelly some love. You can find her on Instagram at Heaven Sent Beauty and Nero Bianco. And of course, if you're local, pop into the store and treat yourself. And as always, if you've enjoyed this chat, please share it with a fellow business bestie. Tag us on socials and leave a review. It really helps more small business owners find the podcast. Thank you so much for being part of the Business Besties Club community this year. I am so grateful for every listen, every message and every moment of connection that we've had. Here's to a brand new year of growth, courage and business bestie magic. I'll see you in 2026.